Hello, I am Julie Blevins, and I'm your student's honors biology teacher. I wanted to take a minute to make a quick video to kind of explain some things that I normally explain to parents at our conferences. So at the end of the video, if you have any questions, please let me know. A little bit about myself. This is my 20th year teaching science for Mesa County and my 16th year at Fruita 8-9. I was one of the beginning teachers to start Fruita 8-9 and have just really found my passion for teaching freshmen. I'm a local girl from Grand Junction. I attended Central High School way back when, and then I graduated from Colorado State University with a degree in biology and my master's in anatomy and human neurobiology. In addition to teaching, I am also the Student Senate Advisor for Fruita 8-9, and I'm in charge of all the events and fun stuff that happens at Fruita 8-9, and I am also the knowledgeable coach for Fruita Monument and Fruita 8-9 as well. Biology is really big. I tell the kids that, right? It's the study of life, and so we cover a lot of stuff. Right now, we're just finishing up technically our second unit. Our first unit was sort of what is biology, what makes something living, and then we went right into biochemistry and macromolecules and nutrition, and that also includes some water and enzyme action as well. Next week we will start our third unit, which is cells and everything about cells, into genetics, and that kind of finishes around Christmas time. And then in January, February, we have a whole unit on DNA and protein synthesis, and then evolution, and then we end the year in April and May with human body systems. Our test for biochemistry, our first big unit test for our students, is actually next week. So you might put a little reminder on the calendar for your kiddos. It is on Tuesday. Here are the Google Classroom codes in case your student is not involved, or if you would like to be involved on Google Classroom, I can certainly set that up for you. I do believe all my students are enrolled in one of these classrooms, but every once in a while, sometimes it kicks them out and we have to re-enroll them. On Google Classroom, I post every single day, or I try to, of what we did that day for a couple of reasons. So if a kid is gone, before they ever ask me what did we do in class, they can look in Google Classroom and see at least what we did as an outline. And then second, they can go back through and use it for review or as for other resources. If you look over here on the side, you will see how it is organized. So it's done by date and by week. And then we have a couple special things here over on the side. You can click on a topic or up here at the top, it will say study aids. Right now there's only one thing there, but it's soon to be added to with our upcoming test. Any extra credit, which is what I call OTI, will usually show up at the very top. As far as grades, we are in a traditional grading scale in honors biology, and we usually have a unit test at the end with 2 or 3 quizzes along the way. Quizzes typically are very short, maybe 10 to 20 points, and they are not quizzes that you can make up. But our unit exam, if you need to retake a test and you've done all the work leading up to it and follow the protocol, that is potentially something that your students can do. I also offer extra credit, and we call it OTI. For those of you who have a son in football, they kind of cringe when I say OTI. In football, that means you have to run a lot. In my class, it means you have to do a little extra work and do some enrichment. So OTI is available to everyone typically once per unit. I gave kids their OTI yesterday, I believe, or the day before, and it is due on Monday. Because it is extra credit, I will not accept any late work. They have a paper copy of it as well. They can find it on Google Classroom. All right, as far as checking grades, a couple of things about Student View. Obviously, when you pull up here, you can see that currently this student has no missing work. But if you want to look at details, for instance, were things late? Were things incomplete? What was their score on a quiz? You have to click the name of the course, and then you can look at the individual assignments. This is just kind of the home screen on student view or parent view, and it gives you a snapshot, but it's always good to look within. As far as homework and studying, this is what I offer to parents and what I give kids is I don't typically give a lot of assigned typical homework, but maybe once a week or once every couple of weeks they will have something that is 100% on their own kind of thinking and doing. But we do a lot of stuff in class. If we do something and the kid is distracted and they don't get it done in class, then that's automatic homework. I would, though, suggest that kids always be talking about my class with you and reviewing it that way. Just because it's not assigned homework does not mean they don't need to study. I strongly encourage them to at least spend a few minutes thinking about the day, thinking about what we learned, what did we talk about, what did we do, and why was that important. Some studying for tests, some tips here. I will tell you, my kids, my tests are hard. They're challenging. They're typically multiple choice. Sometimes they have a written component, and they're hardcore science tests. So here's what I suggest. Practice, practice, practice. If you are going to be an excellent volleyball player, what do? You practice, practice, practice. So if you're going to be an excellent test taker, that's what you need to do. On Google Classroom, in the next day or so, I will also upload a bunch of practice tests and quizzes as well. It's a great strategy to use in high school and in college. I also encourage them to form small study groups and always complete the study guides that I give them. I will always put study aids and video links on Google Classroom that they can use. I would have them reread their notes. Their notes are color coordinated by unit, so it makes them easy to find in their notebook. I would make flashcards. The kids will want to do Quizlet. Quizlet's okay, but there's something very important in you actually handwriting the information on a flashcard. It goes into your brain much faster. As far as what to study, you should always be having your students ask themselves, why was this important? What details did Ms. Blevins stress in class? How does it connect to other concepts that we've been talking about? What are their exceptions? I jokingly say in biology there's always an exception to the rule, and it's usually a pretty interesting exception. And then how do you apply this? As far as retaking protocols for tests, we will do this. The protocol has to be done before we actually take the test. So, in order to earn the right to retake a unit exam or a unit test, the student needs to turn in their study guide in their own handwriting. They need to do a one-pager, which is kind of like a concept chart, or flashcards, and I will give the kids specifics on that, and then complete a practice test on Google Classroom. Like I said before, practice, practice, practice makes for good test takers. Your test retakes are not identical to the original test, and they will need to be done on the student's own time, typically during lunch, but we can get that scheduled if that's the case. Here is our biology book. We do not use it very often. If you would like to have your student have one at home, please let me know. They're really, really heavy. I would say we probably use it for reference, probably 5 or 6 times a year. Not very often, but we have them. So if you're interested in looking at one, let me know. As far as a parent and how they can help with students in biology, have a conversation every night. You don't have to know anything about DNA to listen to your kid explain something about DNA or whatever topic we happen to have. I would always also check if my student is studying, how close is their phone to them? They don't need to have their phone. They have a Chromebook, and do they have earbuds in and earphones? It's becoming a huge deal in class to have music blaring in your ear all the time, and that can't be anything but a distraction. Offer to help quiz them with flashcards or ask them questions off of the study guide or throughout their notes. You know, give them a reminder, hey, it's time to study. Let's do 10 minutes every day for about a week. And please encourage the students to advocate for themselves. Come have them talk to me in person and learn how to do that for themselves. Typically, parents also ask, okay, what's next in science class in high school? Your kid is taking honors biology because they either are involved or interested in science career maybe in the future, or they're on the accelerated pathway. And so that gives them some options. Every single person in Mesa County Valley School District takes biology. It's a graduation requirement. However, your kid is taking it a year early, and so we can go a little faster because of that interest. So we will talk about this probably in February in class a lot, but here are some options looking into the future. As a sophomore, your kiddo can take geology and astronomy, AP biology, sets up nicely after mine, AP environmental science, if they are not already taking that, and chemistry depending on the math that they have. So they have lots of options after taking my class. Please let me know if you have any questions anytime. I will tell you that I'm inundated by emails and sometimes I lose them, I don't see them. So within a day or two, if I have not responded, please just send it again and I'll catch it. And my apologies up front. We get a lot of emails throughout the day and it's hard to catch every single one on time. Again, thank you very much and let me know if you have questions and have a good evening.